Good morning, Magic players. Welcome to the morning show where we discuss all things Magic. And you better believe today is the day where the Modern Horizons 2 spoilers are going to start coming out one after another. The content creators, they're going to release them. Let's wait and see what they show up, and let's have a great discussion this morning. And also, we do Decklist reviews, so if you got a 75 you'd like some feedback on, like to get, you want to show some spicy brew to the community, both myself and the community would love to take a look at it and give some feedback. So brew up your coffees and let's brew up some magic. Welcome to Coffee and MTG for May 24th, 2021. I am your host, Nikachu, the Merfolk Master. Good morning, everyone. Leon Taz, good morning. Good morning, Lee Rock, MTG Box, Stefano, Cody Kale, James, Neil, The Number, Walter, Velky, Lord Magicus, of course, always fashionably late. Good morning, Daniel, Fraser, Adrian, Andreas, Thomas, Veltenvosh, good afternoon. Good morning, Frederick, Rudy, James, Grim Ducky, Nil Diego, Nick Znakshiel. That's the closest I'm gonna get. And Tom, Adrian, James, Harold, Giacomo, Rodolfo, Joe, Stefan, 27. So many people. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Dennis. Good morning, Trigger, Octopi. Amazing. All right. What is the best site, do you think, for like up-to-date spoilers? Like the moment they're released, we're going to see them. I love I pledge my allegiance to Mythic Spoiler, but the problem with Mythic Spoiler is like, the card doesn't show up like immediately. It might take like, I don't know. It could take like a few hours for the card to actually be here. We need up-to-date, up to the moment. Joe says Reddit. Well, I mean, I can't be on Reddit constantly. I mean, maybe Reddit. Which, where on Reddit? The TCG place? I mean, maybe it's worth being there. Maybe I can go to Reddit. Reddit, Magic, TCG. Oh, I think we already got some. I think we got a little something. I think we already got a little something. Prismatic Ending. So white and X is generic. Sorcery. Converge. Can we like zoom in a little bit? There we go. We got a little something going on here. Exile target non-land permanent if its mana value is less than or equal to the number of colors of mana spent to cast the spell. Aha. Interesting stuff. Yeah, so I'm at Magic. I am at Magic TCG. This looks unplayable, right? Exile target non-land permanent if its mana value is less than or equal to that. Well, okay, maybe not unplayable because you can hit anything, right? You can hit creatures. You can hit. I mean, for 2 mana, you can then exile, not only a Death Shadow but also an Expedition map. Target non-land permanent if its mana value is less than or equal to the number of colors of mana spent to cast the spell. So for at least 2 mana, you can deal with a lot of 1 mana stuff. Actually, okay, so this is getting better. Even as a Merfolk player, I could play this as a 2 mana removal for creatures. Although, 2 mana, there's a lot of answers for 2 mana, but I don't always have a 2 mana answer to everything else. So what is everything that we can hit? We can hit Amulet. We can hit an Expedition map. It'd be great for dealing with 1 mana things. That's correct, like Swift Spear, even Death Shadow when it enters the battlefield. Well, you need 6 colors. Yeah, not gonna happen. Could hit a Wrenn and 6. That's true, actually. So if we have 3 mana, we could hit. If you're at least a 2-color deck, you could hit Wrenn and 6. Can't you exile the 1-drops for 1? Exile target non-land permanent if its mana value is less than or equal to the number of colors of mana spent. Oh, so hold on. So the 1 white mana counts as converge? This is ridiculous. Then this thing is really OP if that is true. Because I know I'm thinking of the artifacts when looking at converge. You have to spend white on it by default. So this is busted. This is just busted. I mean, this is like a crazy good removal spell. This is ridiculous, actually. We're getting to a point... We're getting to a point where, like, Modern is just going to be all these 1 mana spells. Okay, we do this for 1 mana. We do this for 1 mana. We do this for 1 mana. So, for 1 mana, they like, okay, exile your Ether Vial. 1 mana, exile your Expedition Map. 1 mana, exile this, exile that. Okay, so the Converge is going to be counted by the white mana. This is, snap play. I mean, I'm surprised they made it uncommon. I mean, that's the most surprising part of this card. It's an uncommon. Not to mention, and like, if you're playing a 2-color... So, then you can exile 2-color things. Or sorry, you can exile 2 mana spells for 2 mana. This is incredibly good. This is just a snap staple. Sorry, a snap staple right here. Right before his demise, he experienced a shattering revelation. Juan says, do you think all the crypto shakeup could be correlated with TCG and may affect them? I mean, all went up at the same time, more or less. Yes. I think markets go up and down together. I mean, I don't know the absolute direct correlation, but they're definitely correlated in some way. Yeah, it's a snaple. We know it's during spoiler season when we know the card is definitely going to see play. And it's definitely going to be, you know, in every single deck. And this is great for my Merfolk deck. I mean, this is just, I don't need swords to play, like, because this is going to replace Path to Exile in a lot of ways against the cards that I really need to exile. This card screams good stuff, Pile-ish control. Probably. I think, well, I don't know how many decks is going to use this. Chemical Death says, does that mean that you can't exile things like Ugin because you can only have 5 colors? That's correct. You can't exile very, very large creatures. You can't exile anything above 5 mana. 5 mana or lower. You can still hit Niv Mizzet. Well, if a spell gives you a possibility to cast this for free equals no effect? Yes, I think that'd be correct. Merfolk Dockmaster plus Counterspell are enough to make Merfolk great again? Maybe. Maybe. I hope they work together. I'm not entirely sure, but I have a video on it. Vanishing Verse, Portable Hole, Prismatic Ending, so much for playing permanents. Yeah, it's not a good time to be playing permanents. And exiles. This is absolutely nuts. I don't think this card is a trap. This is definitely going to be a staple. And like, let's look at all the. There's so many things for 1 mana. I mean, even if your opponent goes first, you can just go turn 1, like deal with whatever they play on turn 1. This is standard. So against Blitz, you got Soulscar Mage, you got Monastery Swiftspear, you got Clever Lumimancer if they play it, Eldrazi-tron. There's not much in Eldrazi-tron, to be honest. Or hold on. Maybe you can get its mana cost if its mana value is less than, so you can hit Walking Ballista. Oops. So you can hit Walking Ballista. What else? You can hit Walking Ballista and Expedition Map. So those are actually pretty good hits. Healing Company, you get Mana Dorks, maybe not the most important thing. Amulet Titan, you hit the Amulet, and potentially some of their creatures. Like for 3 mana, you can exile a Dryad of the Elysian Grove if you've got 3 colors. Burn, I'm gonna love it versus Burn. 1 mana, deal with those stupid creatures on turn 1. Like, until, I mean, we had On Thin Ice. Like, On Thin Ice started to see some play, and clearly was good. On Thin Ice started seeing play because it's not Path to Exile. Nice probably still is a very underrated card. And they gave that to us 2 years ago. They're like, we're trying to give you answers at 1 mana that don't ramp the opponent like Path to Exile. Enters the battlefield, exile target creature and opponent controls until Nice leaves the battlefield. This probably should be played more. I should probably try this in my Merfolk deck. But anyway, Prismatic Ending, another card that answers things. Yeah, it's Chalice does count as 0 on the battlefield. And let's say they have Chalice on 1. You could play Prismatic Ending for 2 mana, and you'll get around Chalice, but still exile it. Oh, yeah, hits Elvish Reclaimer, which that's getting more popular in the Titan decks recently. Tronic asks, could I interrupt for a second? Do you play Ether Vial in a fast-paced Boros Vehicle deck? I main play Wind Dwarves for Tribal, wondering if Ether Vial makes it faster or slower. Yeah, I think it'll make it... I don't think of it as making it faster, but I think it'll give you the synergy that you want in your Boros Vehicles deck. As long as you have enough creatures to play it with. It depends. You can't really... What do you mean for free? You need to at least cast it for... You have to cast Prismatic Ending for 1 mana. Heliod is too expensive for this to be an answer? Not necessarily. The 3-color decks will still play, you know... You can still just cast it for 3 mana. And it exiles. It gets rid of it. So, like, this is a very versatile answer. Excellent card. Prismatic Ending. Very, very interesting how this is going to affect the modern metagame. Do we have any other cards? This isn't a new card. What? Hall of Heliod's Generosity. Put target enchantment card from your graveyard on top of your library. I don't get it. Hold on. Is this from some, like... Was this a commander card that's now going to be a modern card? I thought we had this already. Hall of Heliod's Generosity. Or is it this just like one of those, yeah. Oh, there. Okay. So here's something basically we're learning here. They are reprinting some of the old cards. Oh, I guess like in a new frame though. This is like Force Negation. They're not really reprinting this card. So this is like this is a collector booster thing. Yeah, there are Modern Horizon 1 slots in collector boosters. It's just a collector booster card. Did we need this? Oh, this is another collector booster thing. Universal Automaton. I don't know. How much would it suck to get this as a spoiler? Oh, I got a reprint. I got a collector's boosters reprint. Whippy. Which also means then they had like so many cards to spoil everyone. There's so many cards. Yeah, it looks like they're reprinting tons of the old. It said they were printing. You mean reprinting Modern Horizons 1? Yeah, I think that might be it. Could refresh the page, and I will depend on all of you. Can I organize by new? New. No, this is a very old card. All right. Let's get back to the discussion, people. As new cards come out, just like shout out in the chat, and then we'll take a look. Again, what is a really good up-to-date, I think Magic Spoiler, someone said? Magic Spoiler. Like, it's nice to have a site that just updates stuff instantaneously. Okay, we got Magic Spoilers on the job for us. These are the latest spoiler cards, and they are exactly what we saw on Reddit. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right, everyone. 3 question marks before the question, 3 question marks after the question helps me find your questions amongst all the comments I'm getting on several YouTube channels because I'm such a big streamer, and a Facebook fan page. Thanks to everyone showing up on Facebook. I'm talking to you, Dennis Block and Alex Antonio. Thanks for showing up on Facebook. And we got the number J21. They upshifted Fairy Seer and Automaton. Interesting. Meme Master, why do humans see almost no play these days? Because they don't have good matchups. I get that. This is a pretty common question. They don't have that good of a matchups. So against Blitz, it sort of sucks. Humans actually has a lot of one toughness creatures. Thalia, Champion of the Parish, Thalia's Lieutenant. You can easily kill the Phantasmal Image. So they're in a really vulnerable state against like Lightning Bolts, Lava Darts. Even they're not too vulnerable to Vapor Snag, but they are out-tempoed by a deck like this. So this deck's hard. Eldrazi Tron is like... It's like a little even. Heliod Company is just a bad matchup. Amulet Titan is like somewhat even, if not losing. Like, Humans doesn't do very well against big mana. So big mana like Eldrazi Tron or Amulet. They don't want to see big mana in the format. They probably are good against the Bring to Light decks, though. Probably. There's a lot of removal in those decks. They'll probably be good versus Esper Control. I don't know what they're like against Dredge. They do very well against Burn, though. Actually, no, I don't know if they'll do well against the Bring to Light decks. There's just so much removal in those decks. And they go really over the top. But the point is, there's just too many big mana decks. There's like they just have too many bad or even matchups that they can't have like a really good presence in Modern at the moment. Jojo, do you think that Counterspell being legal by itself makes Amulet Titan and G-Tron less competitive by default? Nope. It's not going to change much. I mean, yeah, it's going to counter it's going to counter things a few more times than usual, but it's really not going to change that much. I don't think, I mean, yes, technically, I don't know by less competitive. They'll be more competitive. They'll just not win as much against control decks playing Counterspell. That's all. Win percentage will go down a bit. Foxy Gamer saw your new video about Thrasta and had a light bulb moment about how to break it, which was, can we give it Infect for cheap? And then I realized, oh crap, Tainted Strike is a card. I mean, maybe. It'd be better if you could one-shot them, though. Because this is only until end of turn, so you'll, what, deal 7 poison, and then that's it? That's it? It's over? Like, and how do you deal the last 3 poison? Anyway, go brew. Harold, I just built Izzet Blitz. How do you think it will hold up after Modern Horizons 2 shakes up the meta? I'm aware it's impossible to predict. If I were to take a good guess, Izzet Blitz is going to be a really, really strong deck. Let's say in theory the format gets really warped. There is a really busted deck in the format. Decks that are really fast and proactive and that don't give a shit what the opponent is doing, like Izzet Prowess, is exactly the type of deck that still exists when the format goes to hell. Because it's really fast, it's doing its own thing, it's ignoring the opponent, it's got a great clock, it's still a good amount of interaction. So if nothing changes, Izzet Prowess is going to still be super powerful. If everything changes, Izzet Prowess is still going to be super powerful. It's other decks that are slower that should be more scared. Eldrazi Tron should be a little bit scared. Heliod Company might be a little bit scared. Amulet Titan might be a little bit scared. I mean, everything else on this list, except Dredge. Again, Dredge, decks that do not give a shit what everyone else is doing. They're just doing their own thing and really fast. They'll still be around even if the meta changes completely. Unless that meta includes a lot of hate cards for Dredge. But everything else could go up and down. We just have to wait and see. Izzet Blitz is a strong deck. Strong deck. Julian, do you think that Metamorphose may see the axe after the release of Thrasta, the new 7/7 Dino? It's very possible. A lot of cards are looking to get broken by Metamorphose. The Storm players don't like the sound of this, but I mean, this card's on the chopping block. Like, more and more people are talking about it. It's not boding well for the Metamorphose. And when the top decks don't leave, we were just saying a second ago, Izzet Blitz, it's not going anywhere. It has the crown. No one can dethrone this deck. And it just gets more popular. Someone just bought into it. And by the way, if they ban more Metamorphose, the deck will still exist. So don't worry for Izzet Blitz players. Don't worry about Manamorphose getting banned. I'd be more fearful of any of the creatures getting banned. But anyway, anything is possible. We have to wait and see if people legitimately break Throsta, though. A Braid or Rakdos Charm for most utility in Rakdos Vampire Tribal sideboard. Let's see what Rakdos Charm does. It's been a while since I looked up Rakdos Charm. Choose one. Exile all cards from target player's graveyard. Destroy target artifact. Each creature deals 1 damage to its controller. I don't know what you want exactly from this, except that you do have some graveyard hate. So I'll just put it like this. If the graveyard is so damn important to you, play this. If it's not, play a Braid, because a Braid answering creatures, I think, is pretty important right now. Pretty important Modern right now. Your thoughts on the leak Dakin Shadow Slayer? Oh yeah, we don't have a card yet. I have no thoughts. I mean, whatever. They're bringing back like an old character. I'm not really that familiar with the lore, so I don't know. Don't know much. Hold on, no. They do it. We do have a Dakin. Right, we have that Planeswalker. This is not a leak, you know. It's not a leak. Anyway, it's probably gonna live and die based on some artifact deck. It's within the right colors, right? So if you're like, there's a lot of Urza decks that are basically Esper anyway, so it's a good fit. Of course, Wizards of the Coast designing cards for decks that don't really need help. Well, maybe it does need help after we ban their Astrolabe, ban their Opal. So yeah, maybe they do need some help. So whatever, it's possible. It's like a somewhat playable card, but it doesn't excite me. Survival doesn't excite me. Playing this on turn 3 and then exiling something in exchange for Dakin doesn't excite me. Gonna need a little bit of help. Some deck designing help. Borks! Can Giftstorm even be playable these days? Absolutely. People are still playing Storm. You know, Storm is just now one of these fringe decks that you need very high skill to play properly and to win. That's why I made it one of the hardest decks to play. I put on one of the hardest decks to play tier list. There are people that still win with Storm. They do very well. They're very high on the trophy leaderboard. They go deep. I mean, let's look at some Storm. Let's look at some Storm Masters. And there's just not enough Storm Masters to prove that it's good. Although I have to admit, it's certainly fallen very far from where it used to be. Okay, we got a 5-0 by NATO. Now, like, it's also one of the best decks to grind leagues, that's for sure. Okay, but outside of that, I don't care about these Martidi modern events. So many of them too. Oh wow, this Martidi modern number 7. These are inflating the Gift Storm win percentage by a lot. There's a lot of 5-0s in the leagues, but I'm not actually seeing. Maybe this is our champion here. The real question, we got to get NATO on the channel. Tell us a little bit about what makes Storm playable right now. Well, he's still kicking. No top 8s, but a lot of caches. Oh, that was so close. And this is all very recent history. I'd love to hear what his thoughts are about, or she, their thoughts on Modern Storm. I have to admit, I thought there'd be more like top 8 or like, you know, deeper finishes in Modern challenges, but there's this. Its meta share is being inflated by these Martidi modern events. Like, I don't know what these events are. For all I know, it was just an event with 13 players, and then they submit the damn thing. Anyway, I think Gift Storm is still kicking around. Probably just a very difficult deck to play. Martidi Modern is an Italian local event. Laugh my ass off. I don't know how it got on Goldfish because they submitted it somehow. I don't like that. I really don't like that. Like and that's what significantly warps the meta percentages on these. like when I make my top 10 decks to beat, I go through all the events, especially the recent ones, to make sure there's not too many decks that were played off of Magic the Gathering Online, or basically, like, I don't care about this stuff. Like, I remove this stuff immediately. Like, I block it out of my mind. So if there's too many of these results, then I'm like, okay, this is overrepresented on, because if they published enough of their tournaments, then really this is not the Magic metagame overall. This is the Martini metagame, you know? Then and they don't represent all of Modern at all. There's a 1/1 changeling spoiled. It's a reprint. The automaton is a reprint. We've seen that before. Would banning Metamorphose kill Gift Storm? According to the Storm players on Twitter, yes, but I don't know if it actually would. They're like, if they ban Metamorphose, I'm selling this deck. Selling all the cards. Bork, Skipstorm is my pet deck. Can it ever come back into the meta, or is there too much hate? I don't know if there's too much hate. I will say, though, that, like, Eldrazi is not what they want to see, because they have main deck Chalice of the Void, and they can get to 7 mana, which means they can play Chalice on 2 very easily. And once you get that Chalice on 2, it's spanking time. You're gonna get spanked. By the way, Borks, you have a great avatar for a Storm player. Love it. Dylan says, I just watched the Thrasta Tempest Roar video, and my immediate thought was Teamer Twiddlestorm as a 2-of. Hitting for 7 is a great acceleration to help prevent whiffs on Storm counts. Thoughts? I don't know if you want a plan B in your Storm deck. I mean, there's a lot of... I think there might be a lot of better plan Bs. It might be a good sideboard plan, because people will be siding out, like... I think they'll be siding out removal, maybe not. Maybe they'll still have removal for your, like, Goblin Electromancer and Baral. But not for a, what is it, 12-mana creature? So maybe as a sideboard plan it's possible, but I don't know if it's good as a main deck plan B plan. Oh no, hold on, you're talking about Twiddlestorm. You know what? I don't know. Maybe it is a good thing, because you know that deck dirtles around so much, but it's still like a turn 3 clock. You ideally should be trying to win immediately. I don't know. Try it out. People will try to do that. Slug says Magic Age did an update on humans with Sanctum Prelate and did really well in the current Modern. No, he didn't. Well, I understand he likes to make these videos, but he didn't do it like on Magic the Gathering Online because it's not released yet. So all the gameplay is against ponies on those free sites. So we have to wait and see how Sanctum Prelate shakes up against like the real competition. But hey, still human. So I mean, it's still possible. It will definitely even the odds versus Blitz if you can get it out early enough, because I mean Blitz is mostly just 1 mana spells. But they'll probably bring in a Braid too. So oops, I screwed up. I'm back. I clicked the back button on the wrong. I clicked the back button in the wrong. I clicked the wrong back button. I'm a fool. Okay, but we're back. I just need. I don't see any questions. Thrasta could be a good addition in Grishelbrand as a 12 CMC green pitch for Shull. You know what? Yeah, some people are asking me about this. That's possible. Maybe it could be a piece in the Grishelbrand deck, and at the very least, you can like attack your opponent with it if you have the mana available. Okay, let me know when I'm live again. I can't tell if I'm live. Am I back? I just see a bunch of Fs here, but you guys have delay. Okay, we're back. We're back, boys. Juha, what do you think of Prismatic Ending from Modern Horizons 2? Did we just not go over that card? We went. It's going to be a staple. It's going to be a staple. That's all I'll say. Let's see, are there any more spoilers? Okay, so we have Fairy Seer, which, you know, is just a reprint. Not really a big deal. Hold on, did we not have Fairy Seer in Modern? Was that not a legal card the entire time? Swear we've had this. Oh, yeah. Oh, this was a Modern Horizons card. Okay. Okay. So this is just like... this is going to be a lame spoiler day if it's just all reprints. Like, Prismatic Ending is the only interesting card so far. It's going to be really lame. But you know what? We're going to get spoilers for, like, the next, like, week or so. So, plenty to talk about. How many turns do you think it will take to revive Pioneer? 1. I mean, this is my prediction. They come out with the Team Trios, Modern, Standard, Pioneer, and boom! Pioneer is back, baby. Or they maybe just even 1 GP. Or they'll have the next, you know, Pro Tour, Mythic Championship, whatever they want to call it. They'll make it Pioneer, and Pioneer will be back overnight. Overnight, Pioneer will be back. Oh, squirrels were spoiled. I'm guessing on Reddit. Oh! Magic spoilers. Fast as fuck. That was very fast. Squirrel Mob. 3 mana. 3 mana Lord. Squirrel, or sort of Lord. So Squirrel Mob gets +1/+1 for each other squirrel in the battlefield. Okay, not Lord. 2/2 creature. Gonna need some squirrels on that battlefield, though. We need some squirrels. Squirrel Sanctuary. I mean, this is for the tribal. I mean, is Squirrels a tribal deck, or is it a token deck? Let me know in the comments section. So Squirrel Sanctuary. When Squirrel Sanctuary enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 green squirrel creature token. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, you may pay 1. If you do, return Squirrel Sanctuary to its owner's hand. Non-token creature you control dies. That is great. But what an interesting card. I don't know. Maybe it's a really slow, janky card for all I know. But it's basically it's a 1 mana 1/1 squirrel, and you could repeat the process as they're killing stuff. Anyway, it's interesting. I sort of like it. Probably not modern playable. Let's be serious. I mean, even the Squirrel Mob is not modern playable. It's got a really cute picture, but not modern playable. That's an old picture, isn't it? I don't think they made a new picture for this. Oh, they were respecting... Yeah, they got the watermark. They're respecting the OG sets. Go Odyssey. What about this one? Any watermark? No watermark. We got the flavor text here. An army of squirrels is still an army. That's right. 15 power blocking Emrakul is still 15 power. Refresh, they keep coming? All right. Oh, we're getting a lot of squirrels. Ravenous Squirrel. If anything, this is so cute. Oh my god, it's like a honey badger. Honey badger don't care. Look, look at honey badger get that snake. Whenever you sacrifice an artifact or creature, put a +1/+1 counter on Ravenous Squirrel. Pay 3 mana, sacrifice an artifact or creature, you gain 1 life and draw a card. Interesting card for 1, and this is a hybrid black or green card. Whenever you sacrifice an artifact or creature. So it can't really sacrifice things very well by itself. But if you have a lot of mana, you can. And you gain a life. You don't lose a life. Usually you have to lose a life to gain these cards. Anyway, this is interesting. But will we see Squirrel Nest? Toski Tribal, yeah. It's Toski time. Squirrel Sovereign. Others. Oh, here's the Lord. Here's the Lord. And it's gorgeous. This is such a gorgeous creature. It's a vanilla Lord. But hey, 2 mana for a Lord. Lord's a Lord. Seems like Wizards of the Coast might have seen my tribal video. Although, wow. If they did, then there was a really last-second change to include this card in the set. Yeah, oh lordy. So they've got a 2-mana lord. Other squirrels you control get +1/+1. They should have Forest Walk. Like, I imagine it's not easy to block a squirrel, in my opinion. Oh yeah, do we already have Squirrel Nest? Yeah, we do. We already have Squirrel. It's been in the format forever. It's a crappy card, though. Let's say this is a shit card. You know what? When I made my Legacy banned cards April Fool's joke, everyone was like, oh, what is the card that, like, is it untaps? I think there's like a card that untaps lands and gives you infinite squirrels with Squirrel's Nest, and people are like, this card's not this card is banned because it combos with Squirrel's Nest. There's Earthcraft. You have any idea how many people told me in my comment section Earthcraft is banned in Legacy because it combos with Squirrel's Nest? That's why it's banned. It's banned because this is an unbeatable combo in Legacy. Nothing's gonna beat this thing. Fuck, that was the dumbest shit I've ever heard. You can't even win by turn 3. You would play Squirrel's Nest turn 2, Earthcraft turn 3, and win on turn 4. That is not. There's nothing busted about that. Anyway, so Squirrel's Nest is a very cute card, very cute, but not that competitive. And I would expect it still wouldn't be that competitive. So we got. This is really cute. This is a very good art by, I think, Isle Gort. Great art on the Squirrel Sovereign. So we got a very aggressively costed legendary squirrel here. Chatterfang Squirrel General. I mean, they're making this serious. It's got Forest Walk, so hey, if you got your forests, you're in trouble. If one or more tokens would be created under your control, those tokens plus that many 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens are created instead. So you double your tokens. You can pay a black, sacrifice X squirrels. Target creature gets plus X minus X until end of turn. That's interesting. Oh, so you can put that on your creatures, but you can also kill your opponent's creatures. Yeah, Chatterfang. That's right. MTG Goldfish has the mythic squirrel. So yeah, this is could be a squirrel commander. Only a single. They're trying to make Golgari squirrels a thing. If one or more tokens would be created under your control, those tokens plus that many tokens are created instead. Combo with Master Waves? Well, I mean, like, maybe. I'm really going out of the way for that Master of Waves. Yeah, squirrels. We're giving up on elves. Fuck elves. Squirrels. That's the future. The future is squirrels in modern. Nonetheless, it's gonna be interesting what tools they give. I mean, these are good tools for a single black. The only problem with this card is that immediately it doesn't do anything. So you, like, say turn 2 tap out for this thing, and so I think the squirrel deck is going to have their biggest problem is how to balance creatures and tokens at the same time. That is going to be the issue with squirrels. Yeah, squirrels versus merfolk, water versus plants, or water versus the forests. The Master of Squirrels. Yeah, when is Master of Squirrels going to show up? Any big respect to MagicSpoiler.com. You've won my trust. The one CMC squirrel is pretty strong in Yawgmoth. This one? The only issue is, do you have the mana for it? I mean, maybe. Whenever you sacrifice an artifact or creature, put a +1/+1 counter on Ravenous Squirrel. Sacrifice an artifact or creature, you gain 1 life and draw a card. I mean, maybe. Maybe. Especially in a board stall, you just keep drawing cards. And of course, this thing can get bigger off of the other synergies in the deck. We need Tom Ross's opinion on this card. Master of Nuts. Now give zombies Cordial Vampire. No, but we do have Cordial Vampire, right? They gave... This is already legal in the format. Oh, give zombies Cordial Vampire. No, that is probably not going to happen. New legendary, the Nutcracker. Oh, I thought you said there was an actual card called the Nutcracker, and I'm like refreshing. Where's the Nutcracker? Show me the Nutcracker. Yeah, now all we have to do is ban Plague Engineer, and we can make all this stuff fun. At least they designed these cards in a way that the squirrels aren't going to get eaten up completely by Plague Engineer. Ravenous Squirrel in Hardened Scales. Maybe. This thing would get big as, like, everything else gets big. And then you could... Well, you can't sacrifice this, though. That's the only problem. You can't sacrifice Ravenous Squirrel to Arcbound Ravager. But, I mean, if it dies, the tokens will go to the Ozolith. Maelstrom MTG looking for ETB vampires. You know, someone in the comment section, maybe it was you or somebody else, someone let me know that, like, vampires doesn't have ETB stuff because that is not a vampire thing. The vampire thing is, like, they arrive, nothing happens, but then they suck your blood. It's like they get value out of stuff. That's why things need to happen for the vampires to get value. They're not like, hey, I arrive and good stuff happens. They got to work for their value. Gotta suck some blood before they can, you know, get powerful. These are probably aimed at EDH, though, right? I mean, maybe. Maybe. Squirrel Sovereign seems more like a modern card to me. Although, I mean, it's pretty weak for a modern card. Honestly, these 2-mana Lords with no other abilities. Well, I mean, once you've played with Master of the Pearl Trident and Lord of Atlantis for like 7 years, you don't look at these cards the same way. I'm like, it doesn't have Forest Walk. This is crap. Except for Gatekeeper of Malakir. But you still need to pay something for it. But I guess that would be an exception. Yeah, we talked about Prismatic Ending at the beginning. Great card. Snap staple. Yeah, the squirrels. I mean, if nothing else, these pictures are so cute. These are really cute pictures. We got anything else? Okay, while we still wait for... Oh, what I gotta do? Get back. I gotta get back to YouTube. I'm all disorganized here. While we wait for more spoilers to show up, I will... Let's get into Decklist review. Whoops, sorry. I should have prepared this earlier. All right, let's do some Decklist review. You know the drill. Go into my description, and in my description there is going to be a link to my Discord. In my Discord, go check out the channel Decklist Review, and then enter the command !review deck space, give the URL to your deck list, and you'll be eligible at random for Decklist Review. I'm wondering how many people have, like, spontaneously made a squirrel deck in the time that we've seen these spoilers. Oh, I gotta make a squirrel deck. We'll just put 4 of all of these in the damn thing. And you'll be eligible at random. We'll have some look at some good stuff, and then hopefully in between the time that we do Decklist Review, maybe some more spoilers are going to show up instead of just waiting for these spoilers to come up. And as we wait for people to submit their deck list, we are going to thank our sponsors, FusionGamingOnline.com. Wow, deal of the week. Save up to 20% off select sealed product. This is not going to apply to anyone outside of Canada. Fusion Gaming is a Canadian local game store, and the rules are no. What's the select sealed product? I guess what we can see here, Time Spiral Remaster. Oh, there we go. You can get Ancient Guardian boosters, whatever that is. Masters 25. You can get Strixhaven Schools. You can get Avacyn Restored, Time Spiral Remastered, Modern Horizons booster box. Ooh, so you can get some good stuff here. That's a big deal. 20% off that select sealed product. And by the way, if 20% off ain't enough for you, you can get an extra 5% off if you use coupon code Nikachu at checkout. Supports the channel. Is great value for you. And don't forget, you can also get all your Modern Horizons 2 cards here. Can I pre-order my Rishidan Dockhand? Oops, not Rishidan. No, they don't have the super new stuff up yet. I looked up Rishidan Falkhand. I'm going to go to my favorite Pokemon Sun and Moon apparel shop song. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place to rent Magic cards online. Boy, are there a lot of decks people are going to be brewing when Modern Horizons 2 breaks out. You're going to want to play test all your new ideas with Mana Traders. You never know what's going to work or not. And who knows? If you want to play the best deck in the format, it might not be the best deck for long because the cards are going to get banned. And if you're afraid of cards getting banned, you don't want to buy your deck. You want to rent it with Mana Traders. You can support the channel with using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 15% off your first 2 months using my coupon code Nikachu. It sounds so wrong now after I put it. What do you think of Spike's Bug Bring to Light Lurrus build? It's great. I mean, this guy's a real innovator for control decks. It's proven that there's a lot of good cards in the color pie. You just have to play with them. What are the thoughts about the Planeswalkers? You mean the ones spoiled? They're okay. They're not great. I mean, the only one is Dak and Shadow Slayer, right? I don't think it's amazing. I mean, it might be playable, but playable is it. Okay, there's no new spoilers. Let's go take a look at some deck lists. Get your deck list in there, people. The deck list review. Holy crap, a lot of people are posting shit. You want to change things the last second? All right, random. Not waiting any longer. Chax! I think Chax has hacked Decklist review or something. Chax gets chosen a lot. Chax, congratulations. Your persistence paid off. Or are you know what? I never thought about this. Some people could hack Decklist review by like posting under like several different names in the Discord. I guess that's possible. That's a possible way. When I have my suspicions of you, Chax. That's okay. All right, so we got an elf deck. Elvish Mystic, Llanowar Elves, Scamjingoos, Voice of Resurgence, Garrick's Harbinger. This is very different. Okay, hold on. Oh, this is Pioneer. This is Pioneer. Bant Coco. You gotta be kidding me. You're playing Bant colors for this card? No, Chax. We are not doing... I guess... Is it free? Maybe it's... I mean, you know, there's no Blood Moon or anything in this format, so maybe it's free. Well, you're taking damage off this card. Sunpillow Grove isn't always... Oh, you know what? This mana base is jank. Maybe well, the Sunpetal Grove is gonna be clunky because there's not many forests or plains in this deck. Okay, we might have to talk about that. Oh no, you actually do. Hold on, you have 10. It's tough. It's tough. I think I'd have a Bark Channel Pathway instead of the Temple Gardens. Okay, so or what's the green-white one? Another Branch Loft Pathway. Elvish Mystic, Llanowar Elves, Scavenging Ooze, Voice of Resurgence, Garrick's Harbinger. So we have Hexproof from Black. That's very oddly specific. When Garrick's Harbinger deals combat damage to a player Planeswalker, look at that many cards from the top of your library, reveal a creature card or Garrick Planeswalker card from among them, put them into your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So Lovestruck Beast, Ronus, Spell Queller, Steel Leaf Champion, a Yorvo, Lord of Garenbrig. Decisive Denial, Collected Company, the Great Henge. I mean, don't play this card. Just don't. Just play 4 Yorvos if you want. This is a great card, by the way. Yorvo is great. I mean, it's legendary, yeah. So maybe if you want, you can play 3. But this is not worth splashing. Your deck is going to be a little clunky. Like, you're going to have these hands with, like, Sun Petal Grove that you, like, it's going to come into play tap because you just don't have enough forests. I mean, you have quite a few forests. You got 10, but it's not enough. It's still going to be clunky some percentage of the time. You're better off, like, filling up the deck with more pathways. Like, you're so heavy on mono green. This is mono green Stompy Splash for Spellquell. I know, it is ridiculous. Don't make this so complicated. Now, you can splash for a color if you want. You can splash for white if you think Voice of Resurgence is so good. And it is a good card. It's not a bad card. So splash 1 color and go with it. But splashing 2 colors for Spell Queller, I don't think is worth it. You can find better... Like, what do you want to do with this? What do you want to do with Spell Queller anyway? Do you have a description? You have nothing. My suggestion is dump the white or the blue. If you really want this... Decisive Denial is great in this deck. I will give you this. Dump the white. You're going to have to dump Voice of Resurgence. You're going to have to dump the Spell Queller. I think Decisive Denial is not too bad. Yeah, I would also cut the blue altogether. Yorvo and Steel Leaf may not get cast as soon as you need them. That's yes. Well, because of the Sun Petal Grove. But there's not too many Sun Petal Groves in the deck. What about Hydroid Krasis instead of Spell Queller? Well, Spell Queller is here for interaction. So if you want interaction, I would go with Decisive Denial. I mean, cut 1 color. I mean, that's the simple, easy thing. How good is Decisive Denial? In this deck, it's going to be pretty good because the creatures are fat. This is a fatty. Yorvo will be a fatty when you up them to 4 in your deck. Comes onto the battlefield with 4 +1/+1 counters. And whenever another green creature enters the battlefield under your control, you put a +1. It's like a Champion of the Parish, you know? And then if Yorvo's creature power is greater than Yorvo... Then if that creature's power is greater than Yorvo's power, put another +1/+1 counter on Yorvo. So this thing can get really big really quickly. You can't go so heavy in green and decide, oh, I'm going to splash another 2 colors. You'll make your deck inconsistent. And you're taking... This will come into play tapped, a little bit clunky, and you'll take damage off this card. And you're taking damage off of your Temple Gardens and your Breeding Pools. Don't forget that. And that adds up. I don't think it's worth it for a 3-color deck like this. This is a very iffy 3-color deck. I would say pick blue or pick white if you really want this counter magic. And I don't even know how Spell Queller really synergizes with the rest of this deck anyway. Also, playing mono green, splashing blue Stompy means you can cast Henge a lot easier. Yes. X is the greatest power among creatures you control. Spell Queller is going to force you to, like, pass the turn a lot. It's not a good spot. Why would you run Queller in a Stompy deck? I don't know. Some people like to live dangerously. But I mean, that's my suggestion. Cut green. Don't cut green. Cut green! We're going Azorius, people. No, we'll cut either white or cut blue and then go with one of them. If you really want... I think Decisive Denial really works in this deck. I think it works relatively well. Because I think this is going to be a decent removal spell most of the time. But you could also cut the blue and keep white. Voice of Resurgence is also still good, and you have access to good, like, sideboard cards. But that's my opinion. Like, this Stubborn Denial, I think will work very well in this deck. So if you want, go cut the cut the white, go blue. Definitely replace Spellquiller with a bunch of Yorvos. Maybe you get another Ronus in there. I don't know what to fill up the slot with the Voice of Resurgence. Maybe more scavenging uses, but basically, like, yeah, this is too weak of a splash to add 2 whole colors to it. Yeah, Azoria Stompy, tier 0. Anyway, thank you very much for submitting the list. Let's check if there are any new spoilers. Nothing. Maybe that's all we're going to see for today. Okay, let's go check out another list. Consistency is the key to any deck. Maybe that's the main thing I want Chax to walk away from. Your deck is so heavy in green, and you're going to get a benefit from being consistent. And the fact that you're adding a whole 2 colors for very, very little, very, very little, is going to cost you significantly in life and curving out. So I would just stick to 2 colors if I could. Pelt Collector like Yorvo and his 1 mana. Actually, that's a good suggestion. Yeah, you could put Pelt Collector in that deck. That's possible. Yeah, give me likes. Like me up. All right. Next deck list. Belton Vosh. Congratulations, you're the next contestant on Decklist review. Humans. Modern Humans. Let's see. Any of the new cards? Yep. Sanctum Prelate. So, doesn't even think it's illegal anymore. Does that mean we can just throw this in Modern on Magic the Gathering Online? Champion of the Parish, Noble Hierarch, Kitesail Freebooter, Phantasmal Image, Thales Lieutenant, Thalia Garden of Thraben. Elite Spellbinder. Oh, this is Millennial Humans, that's for sure. General Kudrow, 2 Realm Walker, 3 Reflector Mage, 4 Sanctum Prelate, Ether Vial, you know, all our Forest? Plains, I guess. Yeah, I guess Forest is the next most important basic. Silent Clearing, Unclaimed Territory, Warlog Grove. That's a lot of Horizon lands. That's very your mana base is very painful. But whatever. How many lands? 20 lands? Okay, sure. So I think usually they have 19, but 20 might be the right number now. Relic, Auriok Champion, Gadok Teague, 2 Meddling Mage, 2 Dismember, Magus of the Moon, and Plague Engineer. Well, you like to live dangerously as well, but I'm guessing you're just going to bring this in against the decks where they just straight up lose to this card. Okay, the only card I don't like out of this entire thing is the Realm Walker, because this requires that you have the mana up when you play it, and that you can cast the creatures off the top. Maybe it's fine. Like, maybe it's fine. Everything else, like, you know, it's a deck. Elite Spellbinder is totally cool as a 3/1 creature that can act more prison-like. Maelstrom MTG. Isn't this the Magic Aids deck? I can't remember if he played Realm Walker. I saw a little bit of the video. Are you dropping a Squirrel video after this? Maybe not. I still have to talk about Grief, but eventually I'll get to. I'm only going to talk about, like, the actual seriously competitive cards. Please do a Squirrel video. Please fill your cheeks with grapes or something for the thumbnail. I don't quite look... Well, I guess I can Photoshop myself looking like a squirrel. There are ways. But honestly, that, like, my only gripe is Realm Walker, but I mean, that's not to say that it's a bad card in this list. This is a totally solid card. It's definitely it's a solid deck. All the numbers are good, in my opinion. I think it's good stuff. Only time is going to tell if these 1 toughness creatures are going to survive. Like, Elite Spellbinder might be a problem because it's a 1 toughness creature, so they, like, top deck Plague Engineer and wipe it out. And it's less likely to get the benefits of Thal's Lieutenant because it's not on curve. But whatever, we see. We see what happens. It's a solid deck. We're going to have to wait to see... What's your most disliked decks? Lantern Control, and Lantern Control. F that deck. I'm very happy that that deck doesn't exist right now. You know, for all the complaining people have in Modern, I can just rewind my brain back to the Lantern Control days and say, you know what? We don't live in those days anymore. As far as I'm concerned, like, any metagame is better than that metagame. That was such a bad time. My win rate was better back then, but still, it was such a bad era of Magic. Stupid deck. And literally, all you have to do is ban Mox Opal, and the deck wasn't any good anymore. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. Solid list. The real question is, it's going to be has to be play tested to see if it's actually going to work. But all the idea looks good. All right, we don't got any more spoilers, so we gotta wait tomorrow to see what shows up. So that's going to be it for Coffee and MTG today. If you want to see the replay, go check out Nikachu MTG streams. For anyone who showed up late, you can see my opinion on all the new spoiled cards. Also, if I didn't get your comments, questions, or deck list, we do this Monday to Friday, 9 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. Be there, and we'll discuss more Modern Horizons spoilers. If you'd love to support Coffee and MTG and you aren't already, you can do so by leaving a sub at twitch.tv. You can become a patron at patreon.com, or you can hit the join button on YouTube. Those are all acceptable ways. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining me this morning. We had a great discussion, and it's really exciting to see what they're going to show up for Modern Horizons. Oh, one more news. It was made aware to me that Wizards of the Coast fully acknowledged that they're supporting Merfolk in this set. There is going to be more Merfolk cards to come. We just got to wait to see what shows up. So keep brewing up those coffees, and we will keep brewing up magic. That's right. See you guys next time.